everything's about timing in my life. I can't ever really truly plan ahead because I didn't know what was happening, but it was actually perfect time because I was at that time enjoying life at UCLA too much. And my mom used that as an opportunity. They said, hey, look, maybe Tui is really trying to figure out who he is trying to become. I was, 20? I don't remember, but let's bring him on this peace walk and give him some perspective. What does it mean to be American? What does it mean to be Vietnamese? So my first time coming to Vietnam was with like 40 people. We had some Vietnam vets. We had a whole bunch of architects and artists and all these other people that wanted to be a part of the peace walk.
What did that reintroduction to Vietnam feel like and mean to you at the time?
I think it was a great first introduction because it allowed me to lean heavily on the peace walk, and I could hide in the shadow somewhat. I definitely felt shame because I didn't know the language. That was a big one, and culturally I was just dumb. And even though I studied a lot of the Vietnam War, everything was the Vietnam War, but it wasn't about what is it now. So up until then, I always talk about, I'm Vietnamese. But in my mind, I didn't know what that meant. It was just, I came off of the plane in 1974. So there wasn't a feeling about being Vietnamese. It was just a word, just a fact. But it wasn't like emotional. There's nothing really tactile about being Vietnamese, as it were. So like we're supposed to have Ron Kovac and all those guys come, but the American government basically said you need to cease and desist as a group. Otherwise, you're in direct violations of the Trade with the Enemies Act, and you'll be fined $100,000 and thrown in jail for 10 years. So we didn't come as a group. We came as individual citizens that happened to bump up at the same place. But in saying that, I went to Thailand. We were there in Thailand because my visa was actually one of the last visas given. All the Americans got the visas real quick. It took the full week of them going back and forth and saying, who is this guy? There was a couple other Vietnamese that were coming, but they had Vietnamese names. On my passport, it said Vietnamese, but I had the name Gentry Buckner. I didn't have anything that was Vietnamese. So I think they got a little hung up on that. We spent our time in Thailand, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And it hadn't hit me yet that here I'm going to Vietnam. Here I was going to my motherland, as it were. And it was funny because like the first inclination of feeling was we were on the Vietnam airline and they were giving us a meal and they just like slapped a boiled chicken on my tray for food. And I was like, yeah, that's Western. And then we arrived into Hanoi. So Hanoi is the first place and we had to get off the plane and, they had the walkway down. At that point, I had long hair going all the way right back. I was on crutches. I had leg braces around my legs so I could walk. I looked like the stick figure from the Dark Crystal, that big long-legged thing. So I get down to the tarmac and I don't know how I feel yet. I fell on the ground and I kissed it. That's all I needed to do.